Well, hey everybody, it's the 15th day of March 2026. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. I hope you had a good week. We began this week by doing the field burning, got that done. It didn't take very long. You have to do that before irrigation comes on the 15th of April. And I also got my onion seeds planted, which I've never done before. Usually I just do sets, but the ones were so awful that I got last year, so I just decided I'm gonna do this with seed and just see what happens. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people swear by it, so I don't know. Let's see what we're gonna start with. We're gonna start out with Vunyo. Now Vunyo is the 8th rune of the Elder Futhark. It looks like the letter P. You can see the I right there, which is Isa. If you look at, just add this piece right here, you have Laguz, you have Kenaz turned inward. So it's a very high vibratory rune. It basically means, it's the wish rune, it's joy, it's fellowship, harmony, success, and happiness. So that's a nice way to start the week, isn't it? Let's see what the Geomancy runes can do to challenge that, or support it. So we have, there's earth. What do we have? There's fire. This one's going to be water. And this will be air. Well, okay. It'll be a challenge to happiness and fulfillment and harmony and success. It's going to be Carcer. Now, Carcer looks like it's the opposite of, or complement of, Conjunctio. I'll get Conjunctio out too if I can find it. Here it is. Whereas Conjunctio is union and joining. You're collaborating with people. There's the harmony in say the workplace or projects or whatever it's for. But with its complement, Carcer, we have a little bit of a different story here. This is self-imprisonment, and it's imprisonment that's by perceptions that are not really art useful, or they're not accurate. You can keep yourself from being happy by choosing to be unhappy and to see the negative in everything. And so I think that may be the challenge here this week, that you don't limit yourself from your perceptions, drop your perceptions, and try to look at things from a higher perspective, where judgment's not part of that and perception's not part of that. It may be something that's difficult to do because maybe you feel more comfortable in the bubble, if you will. But it does impact your ability to live in harmony with other people and to move forward in fellowship and joy. Your wishes come true when you vibrate higher. And being with Carcer, with that particular rune, it's just like the caged bird, and you can't get out of that. You stay stuck in that perception and whatever it is. And so in order to be happy and joyful and harmonious with others, you've got to open that cage and move into the conjunctio of things, where you're not restricted by personal agenda or fear or things that you have defined for yourself so narrowly that you can't see the bigger picture. And so the energy behind Vunyo is to see the bigger picture, to align in source presence, to flow in a higher vibratory harmony, and to shine that light of spirit inward, to be able to expand that on that higher level. And that would be another way of looking. If you're just looking at the meanings of the different runes that comprise Vunyo, it could be something like that. So, but be that as it may, I've already done some shuffling. We'll do a little bit more, and then I'll cut the deck and we'll take the lower half, assuming I can. Start that over. There we go. more time. So cut the deck, take the lower half. We'll draw 3 cards. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, it's really emphasizing higher consciousness here because we have the High Priestess, the World, and the Moon. I think that I want to start with the Moon and move to the High Priestess and then to the World. But before we do that, let me see, where is my icon for the calculator? There we are. Clear. So I said that Vunya was the 8th rune, so there's 8. With the Moon, you're talking 18. And then with the High Priestess, you're talking 2. And then with the World, it's 21. Equals 49. 9 and 4 is 13. So then 3 and 1 is 4. And what happened to my other thing there? Let me move this out of the way and see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Because I need to put that down there. So 4 is the overall numerology. Let me do it one more time. So 8 plus 18 with the Moon, plus 2 with the High Priestess, plus 21 with the World. Yep, 49. So when you look at the 4, you're looking at a change in structure. And so if you are in a position all the time where, you know, your perceptions guide everything and you're afraid to step out, you're afraid to step outside the comfort zone of the bubble you're in, it is affecting your ability to be happy. It might feel better to you instead of taking a risk. That sometimes when you step outside your comfort zone, you're taking a risk. But it's not such a risk that it's not going to be useful to you, and to see the other side of things, to see outside the bird cage or outside the bubble that you're in, that feeling of self-imprisonment where you just can't get out of it. And it makes it difficult then to engage with other people in harmony and love and joy and fellowship. And so when you look at the Moon here, you know, you're looking at dreams and emotions and rebirth and awakening. The crayfish here, it sheds its skin, and lobsters do the same, serpents do the same. So it's the type of energy it's usually looked at as rebirth or transformation or awakening, to take the new path that you see it's coming up right to. You never see it anywhere else, but it's not like you can see it crawling along the new path. But when you awaken to something or you transform yourself to get yourself out of the carcer experience, then you can then take a new path toward fellowship and joy and love. You know, here you have the dog, so the canine would be the domestic side, and then the wolf would be the wild child within. And so you're trying to balance all of that. And I think when you get into the carcer moment, you're really just, you're not able to express either one in a very balanced way. You also see balance here with the 2 towers. You see, you can see, I'll put this up really closely, but when this path winds up here toward the mountain peaks, it's like right here. You can see a little tiny peak right there. So there's a feeling of the middle path and trying to find some kind of a balance for yourself. And also in terms of self-deception, there's a self-deception with the Moon, or deception or from others or what have you. But generally speaking, it's that inner deception. And I think that with carcer, it reinforces that idea that trying to find a different balance can then get you out of the bubble of self-deception, if you will. So there's an alignment there between carcer, I think, and the Moon. Moving on to the High Priestess, again, we're talking the same kind of balance that you have here. You see the 2 towers here. You see the dark and light. You see the winding path, all symbolizing balance. Well, the same is true here, and this is the inner balance you need to strike with the High Priestess. Here you have this is about the divine feminine, dreams, change. So dreams is also relevant here to the moon. But here you're seeing the priestess sitting in between two pillars, the pillars of Solomon. You see if you could see the whole thing, the tapestry here reflects the Kabbalah's tree of life, and she's got her foot resting on a very sliver of the moon. Again, that would be the maiden moon there, which you see. You would see that right here depicted. That would be maiden, mother, and crone. So you see the triple goddess there, and the triple aspects of self, essentially, mind, body, spirit, if you will, striking a different balance than what you've been accustomed to right now. There's divine knowledge, there's wisdom, again, the divine feminine within. And again, two is about balance. It's also about decisions, but it's also about love and peace and reciprocity. So all of those things are embedded in Vunyo. So again, finding the balance within is critical to being able to get out of the self-imprisonment that you've got yourself in with Karser, so that you can then express Vunyo in your life. And when you do, part of Vunyo is also success and happiness. Here we have the world. We had the world last Sunday as well. Here it's the 21st rune of the Elder Futhark, See, I do this every time, of the Rider-Waite Tarot. Well, Anyway, we see the goddess in her nude form. We see a pennant wrapped around her. We see the fixed signs of the zodiac there. We also see, so that implies stability, but with the world, you're looking at completion, synthesis, and reward. So the reward of being able to step outside your comfort zone so that you can then engage with others in harmony and joy and love and fellowship. It moves you into a different mindset, if you will. And with Vunyo in the Elder Futhark, you're really looking at something that's higher vibratory than the ego that keeps you in the Karser experience. Well, almost. I'm not left-handed. There you go. And so the idea that you've got the lemniscates here, the figure eights, and that's just eternity, basically, moving back and forth. Once you reach the world, you start all over again, and we do this throughout our lifetimes. It's not just you're born through the fool into the magician and the high priestess. Where that basically establishes who the fool's going to be, and what the inner vision is, and what the outer vision is, and all of that, and then the Empress gives birth to creation. Well, that's that first four cards, essentially. Even though the fool is card 0, you've got the first four cards that function that way. But this isn't about a full life necessarily. I mean, it can be, but mostly what it is that you're going to have lots of starts and finishes in life. You're going to start out doing this, finish it, maybe move on to something else, and you have this cyclical nature of life. And so you may revisit the whole idea periodically, just to make sure that you understand the reason for all of it. You're going to revisit the idea of Karser in your life, where maybe once you get outside your comfort zone and you're able to engage more effectively with others, there may be times later on in your life where you're going to do that again. You're going to be reminded of it, and you're going to have that test again where you're going to see, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to choose Vunyo, or are you going to choose Karser? And so that may be a recurrent theme in your life. Maybe not, but where Karser's concerned, I think it's a really powerful ego-based rune in the Geomancy set of runes. And because it does, it's so, the ego is hanging on to you so tightly that it won't allow you to leave and experience other things. You can only see life this way. You can only define it this way. There's no defining it any other way. And when that happens, then you limit yourself again. So that may be a recurrent theme in your life or not, but at least for this week, I think that it is. And I think that in doing this, you come full circle with the world. You know, the whole idea of completion, synthesis, and reward. You synthesize, you complete the process, process of understanding that carcer is going to keep you in a place of the ego's choosing and not allow you to move out of that. And so it takes you rejecting that and stepping outside your comfort zone again to be in that vunyo state. And I think that the synthesis is realizing how that works together, where you're really seeing opposites here in the same way. So in that regard, the complement of carcer is conjunctio. So conjunctio would align very well with vunyo in that regard, given the harmony and the union and the joining. But in order to do that, you know, you've got to find a different balance inside. And I think that both the moon and not engage in self-deception with the moon and find some balance with the high priestess, so you can then move on into a more successful and rewarding life that living in the vunyo energy versus the carcer energy will likely give you. So however that happens to apply to your life, just think about it that way. You know, what am I doing to resist moving on into something that's better? Am I just, you know, hanging on to my own ideas and not listening to other people? Am I unwilling to work with other people in a collaborative way? And why is that? You know, you can think about it that way when you meditate on this stuff, and just see, how does this apply in your life this week? And what are you willing to do to step outside your comfort zone and see things in a different way, a way that promotes harmony and peace and love and joy and fellowship with other people? So our leaders could learn a thing or two about that, couldn't they? Anyway, thanks for watching, and come back again. Oh, well, I should say that everything's up on the blog, also up on Substack. Well, this isn't. It will be in a little while after it publishes. I'll publish it over on Substack under Witch Notes or my name, Jan Erickson, and you can get to it either way. And so it'll go up there as well. But I'll post this on the side panel of the blog on the front page there, so it'll be there as well. The video will be, and but the week ahead is already up. I posted that yesterday, so go visit imsteppingaside.com. The web address is that, and the website's called Stepping Aside. And if you forget, click on more below the video, and a box will open, and it'll be right up there at the top, and you can just go and read what's happening this next week and things to think about this next week. So again, thanks for watching, and come back again next Sunday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.